Coming to you from the Strings and Things studio in Ventura, California, this is the Strings Unraveled podcast. Woohoo!
Hello, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
This is our October episode when you're listening to this, so happy spooky season.
Anne's favorite time of the year.
I think we've gotten you on board, and Katie's no slouch about Halloween.
Hey,
I love Halloween.
I didn't used to love Halloween, but I'm kind of starting to get into it.
Peer pressure at its best.
Y'all are having an influence on me. I'm still not gonna spend money putting decorations on the outside of my house, but I don't do that for Christmas either.
I don't decorate for anything.
I love decorating.
Yes.
I don't decorate the outside, but James decorates the outside. I decorate the inside. Although this year it's going to be different, but...
I used to love the decorating, but it's the putting it all away that gets bothersome, so that kind of has tuned me off of any kind of decorating.
It's not fun, but
I'm thinking about... I'm really enjoying Halloween decorations, but I'm thinking about ones that I would just keep up all year. If I got this thing, then it would just be part of our decor. So that's how I feel about Halloween decorations. I'm not opposed to them, but I just need to get everyone on board for
this is just what our house looks like.
Permanent. Yeah, I think you guys would like this. I meant to capture a picture of it. So we have a big window into our kitchen, instead of a solid wall, and it's a ledge that just catches stuff. Yep. And so part of the kitchen redo was to get that cleared out. I have my houseplants there, which so far I'm averaging pretty well. I've only killed 2 of 6.
Nice.
Yep. And one was sick when I bought it from the store. Anyways, so I'm not really counting that one. Okay, so then there was other stuff, and I want it for cookbooks, the other little tchotchkes, and to look cute. So I wanted bookends for the cookbooks. Couldn't find anything good. Of course, at all the discount home stores, there's going to be bookends.
Oh yeah,
a whole aisle full of bookends, unless I want them.
Yeah.
So I couldn't find anything that I liked. The only bookends at Tuesday morning were 2 giant horse heads.
Were they gold?
Yeah. Did you see them?
Yeah. I feel like I've seen those.
I don't want them.
No.
Partly because they take a lot of space. The other reason is I just don't want them. And so I went over to Burlington Coat Factory, which is next door, and that place is picked over.
Oh yeah.
Are they on the list of?
I don't know, but one day I saw a line out the door for it. So I don't know if they were having some big sale or something.
Well, the whole store was 50% off when things could reopen. The whole store.
Maybe that was just to get people back in the door and know that it was okay to be there.
That's in several months, and it's very picked over. Anyway, so I found 2 ravens that have little gold crowns, and they also had 1 prong off their crown, each broken off. So I got a little discount on each of them. And they look like Perdue.
I love it.
So I have a pair of Perdues, and I put it so their beaks are holding the books.
That's funny.
Well, I know the supply chain still hasn't caught up to
that could be
places,
too. I remember seeing articles about places that the being closed was very bad for those second run retailers.
Yeah, because the first runs didn't get their stuff, so they don't have as much to pass on to the next level.
Yeah,
right. So,
which is where I reside.
Yeah, well, I am happy with what ended up happening, because I think it cost me $8 total for these things, which
good.
is not what the bookends at Tuesday morning were going for. I think they were $40 or $50 total.
Oh gosh,
which is not, because I think they were priced individually.
Oh,
and they were 25 maybe. I don't know. I picked up a few different sculptures I thought could work for bookends, but I got my Perdus. I'm happy.
Nice, and you can keep them up all year if you like a spooky house.
Right. My house is full of cobwebs anyway. So.
Yeah, there you go.
Why not?
Well, if we're looking for cobwebs, I could set up decor in my garden, because they're taking over the tomato.
Oh, that's probably where they belong.
Yeah, I'd rather them be outside than in the house.
Except house spiders. Don't kill the house spiders. Just knock down their webs because they keep the black widows away.
Yeah, normally I like house spiders, and this particular one, I decided to look the other way, and it went its way and I went my way, but it was big and it was black. It was not a black widow, I'm telling myself, because we haven't seen that kind in the house, and I certainly wasn't going to flip it over to look at its belly.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I didn't see you.
Okay. Some comic, like, there's tons of comics that have done a little strip on people being asleep eating spiders while they sleep.
Right.
And the one I saw most recently was these two spiders talking to each other like, oh, that's nonsense. We're not going to be climbing in their mouths. And then the sleeping human just in his sleep grabs it, puts it in his mouth and chomps on it.
So that's how we eat spiders in our sleep.
It's like sleepwalking.
They don't just fall into my mouth?
No, you're doing it on purpose,
okay.
Katie.
Oh, I keep thinking about that children's nursery rhyme. There was an old lady who swallowed a fly.
Why did she swallow the fly?
I don't know why. I guess she'll die.
She swallowed the fly to catch she just swallowed a fly. Why did she swallow a spider to catch the fly?
We could go all day.
We could.
We could.
And then there's like endless variations.
It's like when you give a mouse a cookie.
Yes. Which nobody gets that one at work because none of them have, only.
You don't have kids?
Only one person has children. And she's back. I'm so happy. Yay. So they don't know if you give a mouse a cookie.
That's sad. I thought everybody knew that one.
Well, then if you give a moose a muffin?
Well, there's a satire one. If you put a pig in, somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'll have to look that one up.
I didn't read it because I didn't really want this. I don't buy any books that reflect the current presidency, good or bad. So I didn't want that one to spoil the fun book. So, Karin, hi.
Hi. How's it going?
It's going all right.
What are you working on?
I am working on sleeves, and I'm using the Anne, who gives me credit, method of sleeves. It's a top-down sweater, but I'm doing the sleeves the other from the cuff up, so I can. I'm doing Sorrel. By Wood and Pine, I think.
I have no idea.
Right. Yeah,
Wood and Pine. Wool and Pine. I thought that didn't sound right. It's two gals, and I love it. It was with yarn that long time ago, I guess, I dyed myself. And today I got to I finished at the bottom. Gorgeous. Ribbing, and I do like the look of how stretchy a sewn bind off is. Mm-hmm. But 228 stitches
it's a pain in the butt.
It's like, wow, okay, that's a lot. So, and I like to put them on 2 needles and do them more like grafting. So, but I didn't want to put all 220. So I got 2 double points and just split them about 10 to 15 at a time. When I used all but the last ones of those, I slit them.
Did you use one long piece of yarn, or did you piece?
One long piece of yarn.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And
did you use the mohair with it too?
Yes, I did.
Oh gosh.
It's all.
Is it time for a psychological check-in?
It was not.
It looks gorgeous.
It only knotted on itself a couple times.
Wow.
So because I separated where it was coming in with my finger, so I had more control over it.
Nice.
Because I learned I've been doing that with cross stitch that I've been working on. So like I said, I'm doing the sleeves from the bottom up. But when I look at the sleeve instructions, it tells you to pick up your stitches and turn it inside out and knit for 11 inches. And then if you wanted to go longer, just do these decreases to your desired length every 8th round. But I'm like, okay, I don't know how many.
You're working backwards.
Oh, I'm not going to tell you how to do that here. Can we not talk about how to do that here? Because it's going to be a class in the future.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so
because I want to tell you how I do that. But I'm not going to tell you guys
Don't
yet.
give away your secret.
Yeah, don't tell me how.
I'll tell you, because remember the first time I did it, I think I'm finally in the mood to fix it, but my sleeves were about 4 inches too long because I measured directly from my underarm. And I tried my sleeve on right under. So I have a solution, and every sleeve from there on out, since the solution I came up with, has fit perfectly.
Ooh,
Like,
a
perfect.
mystery.
Well,
So
I only have to figure out the difference between the 11 inches and my desired length.
mm-hmm. I'll tell you, but
And
we're not going to talk
no,
about it
I'm
anymore.
not asking you to do it.
I know.
And I did figure out how many approximately that would be, but I did do it from under my arm.
Don't do that. Okay, so that much you guys know. Don't measure it from under
Don't
your
measure
arm.
from your underarm.
Yeah,
I
I'll
did
tell
from
you.
there to, and I used a straight ruler, which I
Oh,
probably did
God.
everything wrong.
I can't wait to
Okay,
show.
I want
Because
you to
I
hear
did it
what
so
I did
wrong.
and then you're going to sign up to find out how to do it right.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, so fortunately, I'm just on the cuff,
Good.
which is
Yeah, you're
Oh
fine.
dang! No, I didn't. So now, well, I'm ready to do the first I still have to do a certain number of increases because I'm doing the opposite.
You have to get back to your... Okay. Karen
my
has some
rate,
sleep
but my
planning
rate
to
of
do.
doing that might be different.
Yeah.
This was
Okay.
a very organic plug.
Yeah. Because you
Anyway.
want to talk about this thing you're doing because it's very exciting, right?
Mhm.
But sorry, no.
She's knitting a
And-
sleeve.
Yeah, I'm knitting a sleeve, but I reverse engineered, and then when we get off the air, then I'm going to be a leech and suck her brain for
No,
knowledge.
no, yeah.
I just want to
Well,
clarify.
at least for
clarify.
experience, yeah. 'Cause
Experience.
where you have tread before, it's nice to know like where not to misstep, right?
We all learn. It's true. We learn from each other's mistakes just as much as
and
people's
mine will
successes.
be easy to fix. My too long sleeve. You're working with mohair and fingering weight.
Yeah,
your
that's
sleeve
that's-
would not be awesome to fix, and you're figuring in
Well,
a fade.
I will tell you, the mohair by itself would be a nightmare. But pairing it with when you pair it with a smooth yarn, it doesn't grab quite as much on each other. I'm careful.
I'm not convinced.
I'm careful how I rip out, because I've had experience with ripping out mohair.
It's
I'm working on one other thing, changing, but also talking about Halloween. I've almost finished the first of 4 clues, and clue 4 came out this week.
Oh, nice.
For a pattern called Midnight Way. And it's a street, it's a Halloween street, and it starts with like the witch who sells brooms, and then there's a cats and bats store.
What is it?
It's
Cross
cross
stitch?
stitch.
A cross
It's a
stitch.
cross
Oh,
stitch
okay.
pattern, but it was the one that where I didn't even realize that you could get cross stitch fabric that was dyed, almost tie dyed in this gorgeous colors. I thought you were stuck with like plain solid things. I just wanted tie dyed the fabric now. Well,
Karen's new business, tie-dye
Well,
linen.
the nice thing is I like the idea that you buy it and the edges are already finished.
Ooh.
They're already so I don't have to worry about taping them and having the tape come off. And
Yeah,
Nice.
that's nice.
anyway, but
That's
I'm kind of
fussy.
loving what you guys are doing. And so on. Kaity's got my colors and Anne's got something gorgeous over there.
Well, I'm working on a hat. I have been on a hat kick lately that I just finished one and then I cast on another one. I've been working through some like single balls that I have in my stash of just stuff. This is some hand spun that I made years ago. I don't remember.
Oh.
I have a feeling maybe you gave this roving to me like for Christmas a couple years ago.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember who it is, like who the dyer is, but it's like shades of blue and green and yellow and purple, and I chain plied it into like a worsted weight, and now I'm knitting up a hat. It's one of those skeins of yarn that's been like sitting in my stash for a long time, and I was like waiting for the right project, and then I thought, you know what, it's
Is that
just
something I gave you when we were at Anacapa?
I don't remember. It probably
How old?
it's
Oh.
probably that old.
You know what those colors are? Those are from Malabrigo.
No, it's
No?
not one of those.
Oh, okay.
I
Nah.
could look it up.
Whatever.
It was one of those yarns that I was like kind of like saving, and I was waiting for the right project, but then I just decided someday that it was like, you know what, I'm just gonna knit it into a hat because it deserves to be something.
Nice. It's very pretty.
I just looked it up on my Ravelry because I entered it in my Ravelry. All it says is
So
winds
organized.
of. Well, I didn't write who dyed it. It just says winds of change. I don't know who the dyer
Oh.
was, but
Winds of Change. That would have been. I don't think I gave that in 2019 then.
no, this says I made it in January of 2016, so it's old. I don't know.
Oh, it's the problem of 2 circulars. It's like, ding.
She knitted with
She
the
made a
wrong
classic
tips.
mistake.
Classic.
Classic.
That's okay.
So I
I
was
just
just thinking
slip this
about-
other end on here.
Your yarn is a year old almost.
That's
Yeah,
right.
because we
So
dyed
that's
it when we
not too
did
bad.
the autumn colorway, right?
Did we? Yeah,
Yeah.
we did. Well, after that, we had a dye.
Oh yeah,
No,
we did it
did-
when we dyed.
With this, no,
It was after Christmas.
It was after
Okay.
Christmas
Oh,
because
okay.
part of Christmas was we could have like a gals dye night.
Oh,
Yep.
yes.
It was before the world came, before the
Oh,
apocalypse
yeah,
happened.
we dyed our,
that chunky yarn that Karin gave, the
that's
colonette.
yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. Great.
Yep.
Then it's not even a year old. You barely had that yarn.
Hey, if I push it, this sweater will be done in the year that I dyed the yarn.
Oh yeah,
Right.
definitely.
I could totally do that.
It's,
Oh, I don't want to
it's
jinx
still
myself.
September.
Yeah, but you know.
And you only have sleeves to do. You should be done by the end of the week.
Yeah, Karin.
Okay, today's Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm not that great.
We'll give you till next Wednesday.
Sleeves should be
Ooh,
4
that's
days.
pretty yarn.
So this is the other thing I'm working on / not really working on, but I cast on and it's on
It's
my
a
needles.
Halloween color.
I
So
love
this
it.
is a pattern called Miss Ziggy by a designer called Skananigans, like shenanigans, but Skananigans, and it uses 4 colors of
Ooh, that's cute.
sock yarn or fingering
Ooh,
weight.
It's cute.
So
it's
it's
like
a
a bat wing, and you've got bat colors.
it's just
That's
like
sort
a
of-
drop shoulder with like a
I
fitted
see.
sleeve,
It's
I
just
think.
it's just the way she's.
So I have like an orangey, gray, black, white color from Candy Skein. I don't remember if I still have I don't have the thing anymore. And then I have our
Oh,
Halloween,
yes.
whatever we call this, autumn harvest party,
Harvest party.
our harvest party color. And then I also have
I'm gonna do something with our harvest.
like a greeny black.
Ooh.
So I have those 3, and I need a 4th. I don't know what the 4th is going to be, but there will be a 4th at some point in there that I either have to shop for or I dig around in my stash a little bit more for. But
I might have something for you.
yeah, I just have to look. I haven't looked in my office yet, but I also haven't really worked on it. I have about 2 inches done.
Yeah.
When I started
Is this
it, I
all one piece
realized
bottom up or top down.
it's top down, and you knit like the back to the underarm, and then you pick up stitches and you knit the front to the underarm, and then
I
you
like
join
those.
it. Yeah.
So it has more of a fitted look, sort of.
It has short rows for the shoulders, so it's like a little more fitted in the top, I guess. But then I realized how slow a fingering weight giant pullover was going to be.
What gauge?
I don't know. Whatever the pattern said. 26.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's why it hasn't grown very much. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't think I'm going to finish it this autumn, so maybe it'll be next autumn sweater, but that's
You
the
have
other
to
thing that I
get
am.
your wear out of your pumpkin sweater.
I know. I saw my pumpkin sweater today, and it was like 110 degrees in Florida. So I think my pumpkin sweater
It
needs
was
to wait
so
another
crazy
couple
hot.
weeks.
Yeah, soon though.
It was
yeah.
hot today.
So
My motivation for doing the sleeves in this method was because I just finished a separate sweater where I did not do that, and I had the entire sweater on my lap
Yeah,
while
that
I'm doing
makes
the
a
sleeves,
difference.
and it's been freaking hot.
Yeah.
And even the air conditioning blowing on you is not enough to counteract a hot
Oh,
sweater.
a whole
in your
pile of mohair?
Yeah,
I
no.
know.
In your
You're never gonna do your sleeves any other way. That's my prediction.
So those are 2 things I'm working
I
on.
wish that
I
I
love
knew
this.
about
I'm
the
writing a
sweater.
pattern with this.
Well, you know about it now.
Um,
I think it's new. It might be like a month or 2 old.
the yarn that I want is sold out. So,
Mm.
How much does it take of each one?
1 skein of each, unless for the very largest size, you might need 2 for the top. But she's using skeins that are like 400 yards a piece.
Oh yeah.
So I think I have like 460 in mine, and
Nice.
yeah. So ideally, it's 1 skein of each 4 colors.
Haute knits, like haute couture.
Uh-huh.
She had a color palette that was 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila floor, and I had it.
So is it 4 different colors, or is that 1?
4 colors?
Oh, that would be
Yeah.
perfect for this.
And it's a pretty kind of rainbow fade that goes like a soft yellow for 1 tequila, and then like it's white with speckles really. Then 2 tequila is more yellow. 3 tequila is yellow. No, I'm sorry. 2 tequila is yellow with speckles of pink. 3 tequila is like pink with speckles of the yellow and gold. And then floor is all the colors, but mostly blue.
Oh, I love that. That sounds fun.
It's very pretty. And then she also has Who Drank All the Tequila and Tequila Blackout. And then I think there's one more silly one. But all
Blackout.
6 of those look really good together. So I was like trying to figure out something with all 6. And then I was like, stop it.
Bad idea.
So I put it all back. And by the time I had second thoughts about it, floor was sold out. So no, thank you. Can't do
what
it.
a bummer.
Yeah, can't do it. which is good. That was the outcome I should have. I am working on. What is her name?
That's
Boyland Knitworks.
Mm-hmm.
What is her
Is that
name?
Rattlesnake?
Caitlin Hunter.
No,
Caitlin
that's not
Hunter.
Rattlesnake.
No. This is High Lonesome, which came out last
Hi,
week.
Lonesome.
And I'm trying to make it for Alexander. His birthday is October 10th. It doesn't have to be done on October 10th, but it's a lot better than last year when I said on his birthday, let's pick yarn for a sweater for you. So I'm going to be, I mean, there's like a slim chance after the newsletter's out that if I just knit like the win from October 1st on, that
Sure.
I could be done. Because I'm most of the way done with the yoke. I have 10 rounds of the yoke left to do. And it's really fun. Like all yoke stranded things are.
Ooh, what's that other thing that's really pretty?
This
I know what it is.
Yeah,
I
this
know it is.
Autumn Turnover.
I love those colors. That's
Is
super
it
fun.
going to be a class?
It is a class. Yep, that was a good suggestion. It's a class on the coming newsletter that you probably have seen already. So sign up now. It's a pattern that I designed for the Yarn Over Trucks club this time last year. And the sample uses apple tree knits, but I'm using like a Lion Brand twist cake or something. It's this one that didn't stay at Michael's very long, but it was so pretty. It's like almost like,
What weight is that?
it's worsted, but it's supposed to be DK.
Okay.
The pattern's supposed to be DK, but I'm
probably
doing
still
it
works.
in Cascade 220 and this yarn, and it's fine. So this is my sample I'm doing my videos off of.
Nice.
This hat is not a fast hat. So
No.
if you want a fast hat, don't knit this hat. It's made of sections of double knitting and brioche, which both
Take a long time.
they both take a long time.
Yeah.
But they're very worth it and really satisfying and very fun.
Yeah.
But you're knitting 2 hats at once. It's a completely reversible hat.
Well, that's exciting.
It's fun. Then I talked about this last.
Oh my gosh, you're into the body already.
Yeah. So I would be further on High Lonesome,
Mm-hmm.
but I could only put my hands on 1 7-inch circular needle, or 7-inch US 7, which is what I got.
I was like, what do you need a 7-inch needle for?
Torture.
Sounds
Knit your
horrible.
sweater on this needle.
Oh wow, sounds
Well,
horrible.
I mean, the punchline is.
I don't like a 9-inch because I feel like in dainty because my fingers don't fit on the needle shaft, so I have to have my pinky out like I'm fancy.
So I came home on, I don't know, Saturday or Sunday night, and my middle son was like, "That's not what you were working on last night." Whatever I was working on.
Uh-huh.
Where's the thing you were working on last night? Which I should take notice of his interest, and maybe I'll make him one in a different colorway.
It'll go faster because he's smaller.
Yeah. So
Better not
anyway,
go it.
he says, "Why aren't you working on that?" I'm like, "Well, knitting policeman.
Don't worry about it.
I don't have the right needle, so I'm waiting for the right needle to come." And
Oh,
he
yeah.
just looked at me like,
You should say lawyer.
right? You know, he looked at me like, you don't. He was cogitating on, you don't have the right
needle.
And then I could read his mind, so I looked back
You've
at
got a
him.
gazillion needles. It's,
Right. I looked back at him and said, "Okay, look. In truth, I can't find the right length."
There you go.
And then he's like, "Yeah, that sounds better, Mom." So anyway, I needed a longer because
it's scary when your kids really, really, really know you.
Yeah, this is the 59-inch size, which I think is the third from the largest, because it's a little bigger than the cat sweater, than the simpler Sinister sweater I made him. But it's going swimmingly, using very cheap yarn. This is a yarn, the main color is a yarn from Hobby Lobby, whose name I don't remember, and the other one is a Red Heart.
Oh.
And it looks like a Noro.
Yeah, I
It
was wondering
does.
what that was.
Only it's way softer.
It looks softer.
And I went with 200%
Unwashable?
acrylic yarns.
200%?
Yeah, they're both.
Two
Oh,
yarns
Well,
that are
yeah,
100% each.
200%. Yarn 1 is 100% and yarn 2 is 100%. 200%!
I give 120% of my effort.
What's
you love
the
when people
other
say
80%? So it's very inexpensive because he revealed to me the first sweater I made for him when he turned 13. He never wore it. He really, really liked it. But I was like, did I stress you out too much about how to take care of it? And he's like, yes.
Yeah.
So sweater number 2 that I gave him last year is out of Arroyo.
Mm-hmm.
And he's supposed to let me wash it when he wants it washed. But this time I looked at these yarns. The pattern had just come out earlier in the day. I'm like, this is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So he still shouldn't machine wash it.
No.
Because
Not even if it,
Right.
not if it, even it's it's a hand
I mean,
knit
he
sweater.
can machine wash.
Hello.
No,
it's a hand
I
knit
mean,
sweater.
he can machine
You can
wash
machine
it,
wash it and lay
but
it out
lay
to
it
dry.
out flat to dry.
If
That's
it's
what I wanna
acrylic,
say.
you can
True,
machine wash
you
it.
can, but
Don't put it in the dryer, kid.
I mean, asterisk, you should hand wash all your garments, but like
Yeah.
it's fine to probably machine wash in an acrylic sweater. But
asking a young adult to hand wash everything might be a bit much. So there you go.
So here is my
That is so cool.
rattlesnake,
I
which I,
love all
talked
the
about
cacti.
wanting to start last time.
You
Love
know,
it.
My
It's-
youngest son would love that in those colors.
Nidosophy.
Yep.
Whatever her name is.
youngest
Sorry,
child.
guys. People
My
who
youngest
brand
child.
your youngest child would love this sweater. Sorry for the people who brand themselves so well that I can only think of their brand name. Sorry.
Jamie Hoffman is her name.
Well done, Katie.
Oh,
So it has a little rattlesnake rattler texture. It has a diamond pattern, and then it goes into the
I love
saguaro
that sweater.
cactus. And I'm doing it all in fingering weight, and it's working fine.
I love it.
So
you know, it's not a problem to do stranded on a fingering weight sometimes because a pattern keeps you so engaged, wanting to get to the next part of the chart. I
Sure.
find it's kind of
Yeah, but
I
isn't
was
that
more
supposed to
concerned
be
about the
DK?
gauge. Yeah.
The pattern's written for a heavier
I
yarn.
got gauge. What I was worried about wasn't so much as maintaining gauge as how the fabric would look.
Oh, I think it'll look
Oh,
good
yeah.
when you block it.
It
It'll
looks
be
fine.
perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and when it blocks, it's going to look better. So I'm very happy with it. I used Jojo Land is my dark green, then my lavender orchid, and my blue and white perfect sky color. Like,
Yeah.
could you get a more
That's a good
perfect
sky.
color? Those both came from Lady Dye. And then the fourth color is this kind of golden-y wheat color. I think that's how when I showed it to you last time, you threw out the word wheat. And I don't remember what this yarn is. It's a German yarn that...
Was it one of those jaw wool?
Jawohl.
No. Maybe? Oh, it's a Regia. Schachenmeyer. It's called Merino Yak.
Nice.
You get
Oh.
437 yards. It's wool, polyamide, and yak. 58% wool, 28% polyamide, and 14% yak.
Okay.
And it is like this color. Actually, I wrote on the band butter,
That would
No.
be some gross butter.
but it looks like butter on toast,
Okay.
and
I'll give you or like on a waffle.
it feels buttery.
Maybe, yeah, but butter is to the feel. Because this will look like
You guys
butter
were
to
like,
me.
please don't serve me that butter.
No.
I don't know. Brown butter, stuff cooked in brown butter is delicious.
Right. Yeah,
Sure.
there you go.
Brown
There
butter.
you
But it
go.
doesn't say brown butter.
No. So it's real tight on whether or not I would need another sleeve because like each
Another skein.
is gained. Thank
Uh-huh.
you.
How many arms do you have?
I don't know. I have a secret.
Sometimes I wish I had more.
So
Think what we could do if we had like one or two more arms.
When I was
If we
a
were
new
getting
I
mom-
think you'd probably need pairs.
yeah, when I was a new mom, I daydreamed that like each child you had would give you another set of arms, and that would be like normal.
that would just
Very
be more
normal.
work though. The more arms you have, the more work you can do.
Yeah.
It's not always.
I
good,
I wanted things to carry because I didn't drive when he was that little, so and we walked a lot of places. But High Lonesome's real fun. I'm thinking about making another one for me, but doing like a little lice stitch through the whole sweater.
that would be
with
awesome.
with the rest of this because I don't think this is going to use all of it. And my size, I'm only like 2 sizes smaller than him, but I'll still have a lot left over, and it will make the body more interesting. Like that's my one complaint
Yeah.
about this sweater, is like Jupiter was also by her. So fun, the whole sweater,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, that's
This
the
is
problem
going
with
to
the
be-
yoke colorwork sweaters is that you do the yoke first, and then there's no carrot to keep going. It's just a sea
Right.
of stockinette stitch ahead of you.
one tiny carrot. There's a cable in the ribbing.
Oh, whoa.
There's a what?
There's a 2-stitch cable
Ooh,
in the ribbing.
I like it.
That carrot's not enticing enough for me.
True.
Quick question.
Yes.
Remind me, which one of you does the intro to stranding that is on Independence Study? Anne.
That's mine.
That's what I thought. Because I've got a pattern I'm working on for November, and I'm highly encouraging people to take your independent study intro to stranding,
good.
so they'll be ready to do. I'm doing a scarf designed with Wonder Fluff, which is really really fun. It's a an alpaca wool fiber that's like shot through a tube.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that stuff's yummy.
It's yummy. So I'm gonna do a couple things out of that, and for November. But anyway,
Yes.
Put in a plug for the independent studies.
Yeah, thank you. I really hadn't thought about, because that's nice that those are always
It's nice having
there.
those
Yeah,
libraries.
I was thinking about that
Prerequisites.
for another class I was planning. I was like, oh, I could just recommend that as a prereq
Yeah.
before they take that. So yeah, it's a good resource to have.
So if you haven't noticed, what we're talking about is since we made these wonderful video playlists for the classes we're teaching workshops attached to, you can order any of the classes that we've done in the past and made available as independent study, and just work through the videos at your own time.
Yeah. And they're available whenever. They're always up there
And
to
I've gotten
purchase if
really
you want.
good feedback from actual students who have said that they felt really comfortable with the knowledge that we've imparted. So
Well, there
makes
you
it
go.
feel good.
Yep.
Cool.
Well, is that all that
That's
you're
fun.
working on? Do you want to jump into what did we finish?
Oh no, because I have one more thing I'm working on that
Okay.
didn't make it into what have we finished. So everybody's made quarantine blankets or started quarantine blankets. I've started at least 3.
Yeah.
I have not had the focus for that.
That's impressive. It doesn't take a lot of focus to start a blanket.
That's
My
true.
my focus is just if I could finish. I funneled my attention towards just finishing things that have been laying around.
That's good.
So.
So I may be shooting the beginning crochet videos. Got me in a granny square kick. So I've been starting granny square blankets.
Nice.
Which I get bored with at 10 rounds. And I've mentioned in the past I have like one that I'm making out of Malabrigo that's all like so many wonderful colors of Malabrigo.
Variant stitch. Go for that.
No, I'm doing a
You're still on
granny
the kick.
square blanket. You can do more Bavarian crochet, which is gorgeous. But I need to finish the thing I started as granny squares. So walking through, I don't know, one of the stores, I walked by this mandala yarn that I have not seen before.
Oh, is that
yeah.
Hawaiian
Is it new
brand?
color?
It's-
New
yeah.
colorway?
And it feels different. It's like what is it like?
I don't know if I've touched it, but I've seen it.
It's smoother than Weekend and springier, and it's 100% acrylic. It's like one of those smooth, springy, fully energetic acrylics that has no crunchiness and no squeak to it, but it's 100% acrylic, and it's just smooth. It feels like a nice nylon yarn kind of.
I felt
Or
that way
nylon
about
blend.
about their cupcake yarn. It didn't have any. You didn't know if you don't know if some acrylics or nylons even have a very crunchy, plasticky feel.
Yeah.
But the newer stuff like the cupcake, also I didn't think, oh, this was acrylic at all. I just thought it felt like a really nice yarn in my hands.
Yeah, the cupcakes still like make me think of woolly yarn though.
Mm-hmm.
This one
It's,
has
like,
a very
super smooth. Yeah.
without being slick or shiny. It's just smooth.
It's nice. It's plied?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it now. It's probably like at least an 8-ply
Right.
with like a tiny ply. Like each of those is plied. Anyway, it's delightful and very smooth. It's the mandala ombre. Because I was looking at that, like they have a ton of new mandalas. That like there's a sparkle one, and that's still kind of a woolly feeling yarn. Anyway,
Woolsey, like woolies
I mean like
Like furry.
yeah, like think Encore or
Oh, yeah.
okay.
or
I'm looking at the texture of, or like a picture of it, and you
Yeah.
can kind of see from the picture.
that it's. How would you describe that?
Like 1,000 tiny plies.
Yes.
Yeah, it just looks kind of.
like a fuzz.
No
no
fuzz.
No fuzz.
I did have like a tiny ball of it somewhere.
Oh,
Yeah. Just nice and smooth. It looks nice. I like that it's not shiny because
Yeah.
a lot of
So I
times
got-
acrylic like that can be too shiny.
Right. Yeah, it's not shiny at all.
I was thinking when you say shiny, I was thinking about that reflective.
Oh,
I
not that
love
kind of
that
shiny.
yarn. That yarn was so fun.
Yeah.
Where you like it had the reflective.
You go in the
strand
dark
through
and
it.
it's like looking like when you
Didn't glow in
shine
the
a
dark.
flashlight on animals and their eyes
Yeah.
have that weird.
It was a flash effect because it was a
flash.
reflector.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I loved like showing people what it did by taking a flash picture of it and showing it to them, or they'd see it happen when you took the flash picture too.
Yeah,
I'd be like, whoa.
My father-in-law has never gotten excited about anything yarny that I'm doing until I made Alexander a hat in the black of that, and I was like, and they're like, oh, that's a nice hat. And I was like, but wait, watch this, and then he's like, whoa, his eyes got big, like I've done a magic trick. Yeah.
I knit my dad a hat out of that because I was like, this is right up his alley.
Yeah. I have a hot pink one.
It's a safety thing for if you know people that work at night or out and about.
Yeah, he would walk home from school and walk to the bus early in the morning, and I worried about him. So I made a granny square of, funny you should bring that up, because it's 2 yarns, this gray ombre, and then dun dun dun, another red heart.
Oh.
It's a red heart super saver with 1 strand of gold metallic. And that's what red heart means.
I saw that on your Instagram, right? Yeah.
This red heart feels better than usual because it is a super saver.
It really depends on the color.
I think so.
Up in their game.
Well, they have better yarns because,
but the super saver is a classic. But it depends on the color. Some of them are bad. Some of them are not. Yeah.
So this one's softer and more flexible. I don't know if like having this maybe one of the plies is replaced by the metallic, and so it's not as solid. I don't know. So 1 strand of black, or 1 row of black, 1 row of this color. I picked Serene, which must be the most popular color, because when I went back for more, there was no more. And I went to 3 stores, like 3 different stores, not just 3 Joann's or whatever. So I had to order it on Amazon because I got all the way around, and I had chosen an orange to make a little pumpkin edging. I have found a crocheted pumpkin edging. And it looked terrible. So I had to buy more of the Serene on Amazon. I had to buy 3 more because no one was selling 1 more.
You had to buy like a pack?
Yes. And Lion Brand is on a, like, we're shipping slow.
Right.
Because of COVID timeline. And I thought I might finish it by tonight. Ha ha!
Yeah.
Best laid plans.
But I can't wait. And so I'm putting a pumpkin edging. This pink and orange that looks like a sunset-y thing. And then I've always wanted to use the pom-pom edging that you do by like doing a chain and then like a triple or a double crochet cluster.
Like a bobble?
Yeah. That's what I meant to say. Bobble chain. And it looks like little
I love that.
crocheted pom-poms.
How cool.
Cute.
Anyway, so that's the other thing I'm working on.
All right.
But actually I've been pretty tame.
Yeah, usually you have more than that.
No. Yeah.
Well, we could do what have we finished?
Yep.
Karen, what have you finished?
I finished 2 sweaters.
Yeah.
Woo! One of them was something that it was supposed to be a test knit for Gigi Lagome, and it's called Beats and Bones, and I got all of the body. I started early. I started like in November, and it was supposed to be due in March, so I thought, good, I'm getting ahead of things. I got through the body. And then I started to do part of a sleeve, and then COVID hit and everything changed, and there it sat. And so I did not make my deadline by any means. And then,
that's beautiful.
And then just this month I picked it up, and I've done 2 sleeves.
Love it.
And tension on one sleeve versus the other one, because there's some stranded part at the bottom. It reflects my mood.
I was gonna say sometimes it just depends on the day.
Sometimes it's just my mood. Yep. But I thought the way this is written is really nice, because instead of having to do increases or decreases to adjust the tension, like most of the sweater is done on 5s, but I go up to a 6 in the stranded section because stranded can be a little tight, and then I go down to 4s. At least that's what I did because I got gauge on a 5. I think she calls for a different needle, but it's whatever you get gauge on. So I am looking forward to. It's got some blue and sparkles. The only thing is one of the colors was unexpectedly slubby when it wasn't supposed to be. But it's okay because I connected with the place where I got it. I mean, like, noticeably.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
And it's not typical for this particular yarn. I don't want to say because I don't with the yarn is because I don't want to give him a bad name because it's great yarn and I will love this yarn and do more of it.
You just gotta skin.
I just got an off one, and I could have just stopped and ripped back, but I'm like, I would have had. I'm so close to finishing. I'm like, I thought at first oh, I'll just live with it, because I'm so close to finishing. I don't want to send it back, and then I have most of I got to the last 4 inches of my last sleeve, so I didn't use that much, but then I started winding off to see if there's any more slubs, and I got to slub number 5 and 6. I'm like, I'm gonna take up their offer to get a different, but I've got another skein of this coming.
Nice.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but if you know me, it's sparkly aqua blue.
It's a good color.
Beautiful.
It would be a great sky for
It would
Reynolds
be a
Day.
great sky, yeah. Tell us about the sweater, because we have,
Okay, so the sweater is a top-down stranded knit, and it's got just a rounded yoke, so you've got the increases are very well hidden into the design itself. You really can't look at it and go, oh, there's designs, there's the increase. It's just really well hidden. It's got like the background color and one color along the yoke. One thing I did differently, because I just like the look of it, since it was a special kind of cast on, the cast on was the opposite of sewn bind off, whatever.
So tubular cast on?
Tubular cast on, but I did it with 2 colors. So I've got a little pop of color along the top.
I'm not fond. It looks really pretty, but like in execution, I am not finding myself fond of that cast on, because it's hard to like keep your edge even.
It depends on the project. It looks really good if you're knitting at a relatively tight gauge. Anything like in a sweater like that, where you're going up a little bit and for like a looser gauge, it just it can be a little messy if you're not careful.
You can see where I started and stopped, because it's not as tidy, and you can see where I finally got the rhythm of what I was doing, because then it's nice and pretty, and then I came back around the horn, around the horn into the station here, and I was like, oh, okay, that's not so great.
I like it for like a hat or something.
Back, so, and my hair's going to cover that, so who cares?
Yeah, it looks fine.
Yeah, it looks great.
But then whatever color I have in the top, it becomes just a broad stripe, background stripe, and everyone thinks this is brown, but it's not brown.
It's like eggplant.
It is an eggplant. That's excellent. It's eggplant.
It's like a grayish, brownish purple color.
Yeah, except there really is no brown in it, but maybe it feels more brown because I think
next to that, like tannish off-white.
Yeah. So they're almost identical colors, but instead of the plum or aubergine here, she had like a bright orange. But I was like, I don't know if I would wear the orange.
You would.
I like that dark contrast. I think it looks. It really shows that like geometric pattern. I like it.
So beautiful. I finished that, and also the sleeves are like, here's right here under the arm. You have 2 or 3 decreases, and then nothing.
Yeah.
It's like just plain knitting around and around and around, which is probably I didn't have to keep track of decrease every 8th row or whatever. There was none of that. It was just around and around and around.
Start with.
And because then it would have gone this way. Well, this one I don't think I could do it going up, because she has this really neat little detail that transitions between the stripe to the ribbing. It's slip one, yarn over, knit one, pass the slip stitch over both the yarn over and
But you did it going that way. In the neckline.
Yeah, I did. So I guess it would look the same.
It's pretty.
Either way.
I'm sorry, rip your sleeves out. Do it the other way.
So, no, I did exactly what the pattern said.
So what else did you finish?
I finished my own pattern.
Woo!
I've got a cardia vest, and I got the yarn is from Knit Circus, and it's super fun. The top is a speckle called We Scare Because We Care.
Cute.
And then the bottom is one huge monster. The whole bottom from the armhole down is just one skein, one 1,200 yard skein that I still have extra. I didn't even use it all. And I just want to see how far I went. And I used the contrast color around the neck and the sleeves. And I really like that, because The other would have been okay.
It goes really good with
this
that
gives it a
speckle.
It
pop.
looks fantastic.
It's perfect with the
So,
speckle color at the top.
It goes with it, and otherwise this color would not have gotten represented at all because
Right.
I didn't get to it
That was the
in
end
the
of the
ombre.
cake.
Huh? The end
That
of the
was
cake.
the end of it.
Yeah, so I got to throw it in there.
It's cute.
So we can get some pictures of it, and I had just as much fun planning the stuff to go with it when I do photo shoots, than I do the actual item itself. So that's the Cardia vest, and I'll have an updated version of it. You can get it on Ravelry, but these beautiful colors won't be visible till next month. But I finished 2 sweaters.
Nice. That's awesome.
One of them, okay, so Cardia I actually started and finished.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
As opposed to these others that I'm finishing. I'm in a kick to finish sweaters. So
I have a bunch if you want. If you run out of things to do.
I have so many sweaters that are languishing, saying, "Somebody give me attention." But before I get to East Creek, which Anne had mentioned,
Was it finished?
I'm on Sleeve Island there.
It's not finished.
So. No, it's on Sleeve Island. It's a timeout.
Nobody cares right now because it's not finished.
Blah blah blah.
We're in finished project section.
I just have yarn. I have a project with yarn that Anne gave me that is my next.
Nice.
That's the target of my next
have to
finished
talk
object.
about it
So
next
next
time.
month.
That's exciting. I can't wait to see that knitted up.
Well, I have a whole bag of things I finished.
My goodness.
So the first thing is this big giant sweater.
It's gorgeous.
So this
I saw that on Instagram.
I posted
It's
it on Instagram today.
fabulous.
It's triple
Wow.
stranded.
I couldn't tell how.
You want to feel it?
Oh, I hurt my back.
Yeah, I know. It's real chunky.
I couldn't tell the texture of it from the picture.
Yeah, it's triple stranded DK weight, size 11 needles.
Nice.
So I used a yarn, Karin skinny cakes, which is like their Karin cakes, but they're like DK weight. So it's all the same color, like 3 skeins of the same color. I just alternated where they were. And the pattern is called
That's clever.
The pattern's called the Jupiter Jumper
I love it.
by the Knit Edit, which I looked in my notes from last month's podcast, and I had a note to talk about the Knit Edit as one thing I was obsessed with. I don't know if I did or not.
I don't think you did because I haven't heard of it.
Right.
So
What
she's
is the Knit Edit?
she's a designer. She only sells her patterns on Etsy, unfortunately. I looked because the pattern wasn't in Ravelry, but I follow her on Instagram, which is why I saw it. But she designs like other big chunky sweaters like this. I think she has maybe 3 or 4 different sweater patterns, like a cardigan, this pullover, a different pullover, and then she has like I think she has like a new hat. They're all very simple silhouettes, so they're great for like a beginner, which is like about as much as my brain could handle last week or whenever I knitted it. And this has a tubular cast on for the hem, which we were just talking about for the sleeves and the bottom, and then I just did a regular bind off for the top because I didn't feel like thinking about doing a sewn bind off.
Looks good.
So I finished that, and then after I finished that, I didn't really feel like picking up a big project, so I knitted a hat because I needed a gift for somebody. So I knitted a hat, and then I gifted it, and then I was like, that was fun, let me knit another hat. And so I think I'm up to 7 hats in like a week.
One a day, huh?
Pretty much.
Let's see what you got.
So the second one, so the first one I knit was in one of those.
Pretty. Oh, the little mini thingies by Karin. Was it Karin or?
I have to look it up. It's the Karin Pantone little skein sets. So the first one I knit was one of those. It was like a Fair Isle pattern. This is my second one, which I did helix stripes of 4 different colors, I think. Maybe it was 5 colors. 1, 2, 3, helix stripes of 5 colors. With a blue brim. So that's just like a basic beanie. And then I knit.
Ooh, I like that one.
This is with Brooklyn Tweed Shelter in 2 colors, and it's a pattern.
It's a really pretty green.
Yeah, it's like a sap mossy green.
It's got little pops of orange, but mostly
I thought it was good because they looked like a good autumnal kind of fall tree. This pattern is called Banff or Banff.
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 The Banff.
Banff. By Tin Can Knits. So So I did that. And then this one was number 3. This is leftover Madeline Tosh Chunky from a sweater I knit. And it's just like a seed rib basic. I think the pattern for this was called Man Hat. It was like free on Ravelry. So I did that. And then this is, somebody donated some scrap ball, leftover balls of this yarn from Monos called Serpentine, which is like their Monos Classica, but it's merino, so it's super soft.
The colors are so pretty.
So that's 3 different colorways. I used one for the brim, which was a different colorway, and then I used 2 for the...
But they're all beautiful together. I thought they were like, oh man, this feels so creamy.
It's nice. So I used one for the brim. I had like a little partial ball, and then I did like 1 row stripes of the other 2 colors. And then I have 2 more balls of this left, but it's not by weight enough to knit another hat, so I have to figure out what I'm going to do with it. But that's just a basic beanie. This, what are we on, number 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is number 5. This is
Tinka Knits, right?
Yes.
And I can't remember the name, and I've knit that one.
Clayquat?
Yeah. It's
something like that.
Yeah.
Which, when I started it was like working through the pattern, and I was like, I've knit this before. And I have no record of it. I don't remember why I knit it. I don't remember who I gave it to because I don't own the hat. I don't remember what yarn it was, but I don't think it was that long ago that I knitted this exact pattern, and I didn't realize it until I started the hat that I was like, I know I've done this.
You know what? When we went on our gal trip, we talked about it because you were doing it, and I think that's or maybe I did it. I don't know. We were doing it at the same time.
No, that was a different hat.
No, yeah, that was
because I was working on it as a class.
No, but that was a different one. I don't remember.
That was
I don't know. And now that I thought about it a little harder, I don't know if I actually finished that hat. Like, I remember working on it, but I don't know. Anyway, so this is a rusty orange color. This yarn is Hobby Lobby. It's the same one that this little sweater is.
They go together.
Well, that would be a really big-headed baby.
I
think the yarn...
I wouldn't rule it out.
I think the yarn is called Must Be Merino, and it's like a merino blend.
That's a kind of nice yarn.
It is a nice yarn.
Yeah.
It splits a little bit, but it has good stitch definition. And then the Fair Isle is 2 colors of Kenzie that I had in my stash for a while. And then this I knit last night while I was watching the debate, so I was knitting really fast because I was really frustrated, which tends to happen when I'm watching something that's not exciting, but, get your heart rate up. So I knitted pretty quick. So I finished a hat last night.
So you call this your stress hat?
Yes. It was a beautiful thing to come out of.
What was that?
A stressful thing to watch.
What was that color? That's gorgeous.
This is
like midnight violet purple.
The colorway is called Goth Princess.
Totally see it.
And it's from Beauty Mark Yarns. My friend Mariah is a yarn dyer on Instagram. This is one of her colors that I had left over from the Ripple Bralette DK that I knit. Like, I test knit probably last year. I don't remember. Or maybe it was earlier this year. But this was left over from that. So that was a partial ball. And then I'm working on my hand spun hat. So that will be maybe hat 7 or 8. I don't remember. But I've kind of just like, I finish a hat and then I go into my stash and I find some fun ball of yarn. And then I go on Ravelry and I look up a pattern and then I knit a hat. And then I do it again.
Why I say that hats are like knitting chocolate.
Yeah,
like
they're very
fast,
fun.
They're satisfying.
Yep.
You feel good when you're done.
Yep. Last time we talked, I was working on a blanket, a corner-to-corner crocheted blanket for a bridal shower gift. And I finished that and I gave it to the recipient and she loved it. That was 5 colors of like an acrylic worsted weight. And I made a rectangle shaped corner to corner, which was very fast. And the girl I gave it to is a crocheter, so I knew she would appreciate all the hard work that went into it. And when she saw it, she was like, oh, this is so pretty. What stitch is this? It was like, she was like, it looks really great. It's like a granny square. And I was like, oh, it's called corner to corner. It's very easy. It's, really easy and fast. And I was like, wait, no, it took me a very long time and it's very complicated.
Come on.
And she was like, oh yeah, okay, totally.
Splash flour on your face.
No, it was very difficult. So I finished that.
You can't afford me.
And I've also made a bunch of masks this week because I found a new pattern that I really like. So if you sew your own masks, I came across this tutorial on YouTube called the Reverse Nose Fold Improved Face Mask. That's the name of the pattern.
Do you have it?
Reverse
yes.
nose fold.
I have one in mind that I've been wanting to try.
That's the name of the YouTube video. Reverse Nose Fold Improved Face Mask by Sophie Passmore. So it is a regular pleated mask with elastic ear loops, but it has a little fold over at the top. So when you wear it, that little part comes up and goes over your nose. So it, like, if you wear glasses, I'm talking with a mask on right now.
Oh, it keeps them from fogging.
So you don't have to have a wire. It just keeps it right on your mouth or on your nose.
That would save 1 minute.
Yes,
which counts.
And the way that she designs it is very smart.
Pattern.
So I really, really like this pattern. The YouTube video is I think she's British because she gives centimeters, but I didn't realize that when I was watching the video. In the description there's like written out like by inches because I had to go in my calculator and figure out like, okay, 22 centimeters is 8.5 or whatever it was. So, but it's all written out in the description of the video, so don't do like I did and just watch that. But I've been sewing a bunch of masks because I was making I found Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas fabric for some of my family members who were like, oh, I want festive masks. So I made a bunch of those this week too. So that is what I have finished recently.
I have a similar list of finished objects if you only segment out the hat part and only the part where you talked about basic beanies. Because I've really, other than the things I'm working on actively, finished things for our classes since we last talked. So I finished 5 simple hats. So one of my goals at the beginning of the year was to have a cache of baby hats that my husband could steal from when there's a baby shower, so that no more of this the night before could you whip something up. So I had bought this yarn from Michael's that they were selling in these like little tiny balls. Maybe they're 50-gram balls, but they were only like 78 yards per ball. And to illustrate the steps of my simple hat class, I made 5 of those, and I'm going to make like maybe 4 more. But they stopped carrying it in that tiny cute little ball, and they were like cheerful, really fun colors. The yarn's called Capri. They still have Capri, but it's less colors and 100-gram balls. But it's like $3.99 a ball, and it's similar to that yarn, the mandala yarn I was talking about. A lot of
like
plies, 100% acrylic, a lot of energy, so it's like it keeps its shape.
Do you find if a lot of plies can be splitty? It depends on how much twist they put into the multi-plies.
I don't have a lot of trouble with it.
It depends on the needles sometimes you use too.
One time I was reading tips about that, and they're like, don't continental and don't use pointy needles, and I was like, well then just don't
talk
knit.
to me.
Yeah, like I mean, if you're gonna tell me I can't do that, then I can't knit.
I find that sometimes I don't have a problem knitting, but some things don't want to crochet as well. I'll find,
that's fair.
Like I had some hedgehog fiber that I love, and I've never had a problem with it knitting. But the entire time I was working on there's nothing I finished. I finished another sample. No, actually, I take it back. I only got 2/3 because I only got as much as I needed to for the video.
And it's not finished.
It's not finished. But the entire time I'm crocheting with it, I'm having to edit the video because it was splitting and splitting and splitting and splitting. I'm like, okay, this is taking up a lot of time. Just watching me correct a splitty yarn.
I don't mean to break into your time, but I forgot to Anne. I forgot to mention
I
why I was knitting all these hats. I have a plan for them. I'm gonna keep the one with the monos with like the speckles and stuff just because I really like it, but the rest are going in a box or a bag or something, and then next time we go camping with my family or something, I'm just gonna put the box out and say, everybody please take a hat. So I'll get rid of them because I was like, oh yeah, this is fun to knit, but I'm like, then I went through a box and I was like, I have so many freaking hats, I don't need any more hats. James doesn't need any more hats, so I'm like, I'm just gonna knit them because they're fun, and then I'll find homes for them.
That sounds lovely. They're Cinderella hats.
Yep.
I just cleared 5 big hefty bags of clothes, which are mostly sweaters and scarves, hand knit stuff that I don't, and I Goodwilled them because I want because I want them to go to a place where people we're at that season where it is not going to always be 110 degrees where we live, and it's the local one to Fillmore, so they'll stay there hopefully.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
No. Okay.
No, I also finished one twirly skirt, which is another class coming up on our class schedule. So fun.
Yeah.
So fun. But that's it. I have literally, like, I think last time you guys said I'm working on class samples, and I was like, whatever.
Right. That's all you worked on.
And then this time, it's like, okay, just class samples. That's it.
It's not that I don't enjoy class samples, but I don't feel like I accomplish as much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really,
I like
samples,
what I do, but...
Yeah, the samples I'm talking about are all going to have a bigger purpose than just being a class sample. Like, I got a New Year goal out of the way to build up that cash for Kevin. And then I... love making those twirly skirts for Marabella. She could just live in one of those every day, once a month, it seems, from when we cleaned out her.
I'm looking forward to sewing again, but I had to get some other projects off my plate.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think since we finished our what are we working on, what have we finished, we're gonna jump into our topic of the episode. This idea was Anne's idea, so I'm gonna let her talk about it.
Well, we lost a lot of people last week.
Yeah.
You know, we're all sad about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and I'm going to tell this in a lightly funny way. Karin and I were commiserating on the Friday that Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. I had a class. She was here working on stuff. And I was just thinking about other influential people who I knew were suffering and sick right at that time. And I said, what if Kat Bordhi died this weekend? And then she died on Saturday morning.
She had posted how she
was very
was
scared
sick.
of you.
Yeah. Well, I knew she was sick from...
She posted that she was sick.
She handled her... Because she is something of a...
She got to say her narrative and not... She got to say...
Control her narrative.
Control her narrative. That's good.
Yeah, because she is something of a public figure who's touched many of our knitting lives. She did it with a lot of grace and thoughtfulness.
We were very, very honored many times, quite a few times, to be her only West Coast stop. When we worked at Anacapa Fine Yarns.
I didn't know we were her only, but I know we were like...
There was a couple times where we were the only place that she went. She came all the way down just for us, and she didn't go anyplace else in Southern California.
It was usually...
at Northern California.
Usually attached to TNNA. So it was always nice to have her in town. So I just thought it would be neat to like share, because we were privileged to get to spend time with her for real, and not just through her books and patterns, and through the knitters that she, you know, I was thinking about how she really was the, like, we all rise with the rising tide, you know. If she thought you had something special to share, she was about lifting you up and helping you figure out the best way to share that. I mean, that's what the Knit Swirl book is about, and her foreword. Jenny's Surprisingly Stretchy Bind Off. Is she the one who kind of popularized the cast on?
Judy Becker did it, but because she did an early YouTube video when it was new on the
how to do it.
Judy's Magic Cast On.
Yep.
Which really, toe up socks, that's what made toe up socks really birthed it as a thing. Yeah. Because it was a way of being able to get your stitches on without you know, going the other way and grafting.
So I was thinking of the thing I always... And I've always had a hard time embracing it until it like became ubiquitous as my like all the time bind off almost, was her teaching Jenny Surprisingly Stretchy Bind Off. That's something that is in almost every project. And almost every class that I teach. And I have to say that I laughed when she said that it had elasticity and reverse elasticity, because that is what elasticity I it goes out and it comes back in.
Yeah.
I I also in one of her classes learned because I had what needles I had. I had a metal needle on one half of my two socks with two circulars, and a plastic needle with my other half, and one was hugely different row height, and that's when I was, oh my god, I will only use
the
same makeup of needle. I will swatch with the needle I'm going to use.
Good practices.
Yep. So that those are the two things that have really stuck with me. Also, her alligator thing. I can't even remember how she taught it, but she would teach you about the hungry alligator.
She always had great stories. She was a storyteller.
Yeah. Well, she was a professional teacher and a natural teacher.
Like her stories from Mobius. It dives down like a dolphin.
Oh, yeah.
And then it jumps up in the air and becomes a bird. And then it goes down and it dives back down and becomes a dolphin again.
So the Mobius cast on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were lucky working at Anna Kappa to be able to take classes with her. And I don't remember... I think I only remember taking one class with her at Anna Kappa. I think she visited us more than once, but I remember taking one sock class with her.
I want to say maybe 3 visits, but I distinctly remember 2.
Yeah.
I think 3.
I remember working during one of the workshops, and I didn't take it. And I did take whatever her current sock.
Sweet tomato heels.
Yeah, sweet tomato heels.
Yeah, I took insouciant.
So I remember taking classes with her, and one thing that I remember from that class, I was trying to think about, what I learned from her, or, whatever, and I don't know if she's the inventor of the Mobius in, the knitted form, but she definitely popularized it.
Definitely.
I think she
made it accessible.
Yeah.
It's a highbrow math concept.
It is, and I still don't 100% understand it, but I have knit them before and they're fun.
Yeah.
One thing I took away from the sock class, I remember, one thing I always do is, in that class, she had you, trace the foot to, measure.
Gotta do it.
I still, if I'm knitting socks for other people, I'll have them trace their foot so I can measure it.
Absolutely.
And then once she told me, as an offhanded thing, that she doesn't weave in her ends on her socks.
Oh, yeah.
She just lets them hang out in the inside until, you've worn them and you see how they're going to wear, and then maybe you'll weave them in. And I was like, so I have permission not to weave in the ends of my sock? And she was like, yeah, totally.
I do that, too.
So I still remember that.
Yes, that's a good one. Because when I leave it in there, of course, if I have any dog ears that I need to tidy up, I'll use it for that. But I leave it in there, and I think about how it protects the wear and tear, because that's a place where I totally wear out my socks.
Yeah.
And you do not want that on your hand knit socks. Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I just remembered that as we were talking. I was like, she told me it was okay to do that.
She's just so cool about thinking about things from different directions.
Any of my sock books from her. I've got my Mobius
the
books.
way that she thought about things was so different and inventive. It's a lot of concepts that we have in knitting are thanks to Bordhi, pioneering it. So
I thought it was very clever when I got my first set of interchangeable needles, and I was I went back to the shop the next day, and I was like, Lois, I figured out that you can use you can make 2 sets of circulars out of these by 1 small needle on this one. And she's like, yeah, and that's in the instructions from Kat.
Oh.
I was like, oh, okay. I didn't read it. I swear to goodness.
That's one of the things. So she was the first one that I know to really do toe up, because she had a little booklet that says socks sore on 2 circulars.
Yes. I remember that.
It was where you were taking. I can't even explain how she did, but it was great because it doesn't matter the diameter of your sock, whether it's big or small. When they're split in half, you don't have to have all those other needles hanging out. One of the things I learned from her, wrote from a class that that Lois had taken from her, was how inventive she was, very innovative in the way she thought about socks and the sock structure.
Yeah.
So, for instance, when one of the early sock books that she did with, and she wrote she would move the increases or decreases. That a lot of them were toe up, but they weren't necessarily. The idea was that, you know, traditionally we have our shaping on the sides of the sock, but they don't have to be on the sides. They could be underneath.
The Coriolis.
They could swirl around. Oh, they could be a star. I learned the star toe. I learned the afterthought heel. I learned all these techniques because what is a heel but a toe? Shape.
Right.
And she also, like, I remember in one of those sock classes, I made the little sock overnight.
Sock, yeah.
And then I think I was picking her up in the morning and I was like, oh, look what I did. And I love this toe, but I'm curious about your other toe. She's like, who says that you have to do the same toe and heel on this sock? Like, you could do 4 different.
I just remembered I have taken 2 classes with her, because now that I think about it, I did the sweet tomato heels, and then I did the one where you made like the footprint and then you cut it open and you knit the leg.
Oh, okay. It looked
Houdini.
Is that what it was called?
Sock, yeah.
It looked like a potato.
Yes.
That you opened up, and then all you did, you picked it up and you just went up the leg.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I've taken 2 of her classes now. I just remembered.
I took something from her at TNNA, but right now it escapes me what it was. But I was late because I didn't plan driving from Long Beach very well, but I was actually going to be perfectly on time. But I got to the Long Beach Convention Center and there was someone trying to pay for their parking with a check.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, go! Can I pay for your parking? Can I? And then so I ran in and she's like, oh, nice of you to join us, Anne. I was like, oh, she remembers
She's
me.
such a teacher.
Oh, actually, she saw my name.
Yeah, the one person that's not here.
Hello, Anne. But she was really great about using your name, actually. Which, again, her natural teacherness.
I was so intimidated the first time I took a class, but not by her. I was a fairly new knitter, and why I was doing socks, I don't know. That's just what I bonded. That was my baby bird bonding on knitting thing. And I took a class.
You imprinted on it.
I imprinted on mommy. Socks. Yeah, but I was sitting next to Shannon Oakey and some other really big name rock star people that they got it right away. Oh. It took me the first half of the class just to figure the cast on, and I felt so. And I didn't even want to leave for lunch, but she's like, "I kind of have to lock up, so you need to go." But. But she was so patient, and she was always really, really encouraging. She was so chill and relaxed about everything. It was like, it's just a sock, no big deal.
I was thinking, I think the first introduction to her I had was watching her on Nitty Gritty. I think she was in an episode of that, and I don't remember what she taught, but I feel like I remember her being on that show.
I feel left out. You both were on that show.
You shouldn't feel left out.
No, don't worry
the
about
anemone
it.
hat with the little twisty things.
Maybe.
I think that might have been what it was.
Yeah. The umbilical cord hat.
No, it's like got an all over little
anemone.
twist pattern where you like pull out a strand of yarn between stitches and you like twist it, and then it
looks
How
like
did I miss
teeny
that?
tiny little dreadlocks.
Yeah, this one.
It's both like.
That one.
Yeah,
you should add that to your hat pile.
I don't know who in my family would wear it.
A dread.
But then,
dread
like,
hat.
I have the same thought about that hat. But then I see people wearing it, and it's like
it's really cute on this
filled
kid.
With joy.
Yeah, like so cute for a bald baby.
Yes.
It also just looks fun to knit.
Yeah, I always another thing I think about her is like her love of her daughter and grandson.
Oh, the Charlie Boat hat.
Well, I think about how when she was introducing us to the foot cutout, and she had the foot cutouts for him, and she was imagining having them on her wall as art, so she actually had them made out of like a very thin wood. And now he's a big boy.
Yeah.
So
I
hope
know,
she
and I
did a
think
picture
how
of him
old
the
he
other
must
day.
be, because in one of her first books where she talked about the different types of increases and the toe up, she has one that's called the Charlie Boat hat, the Charlie Boat socks, because it was something about the way the increases lined up reminded her of when her daughter was in labor, and she told the story about it, and you just felt like you were part of her family.
Yeah,
she made it. She was just so relaxed about everything.
Yeah, I
really, really would have loved to be part of that design, where they had special intensive design workshops up in Washington.
It
But
would
they
have
only
been
did
quite
it a couple
thing.
times, and by the
Yeah.
time I got around to it, they were already done.
Yeah.
That would have been really special.
I would have flown up there for that. That would have
yeah.
been awesome.
Well, goodness, that island. Because I think it was on her island,
Yeah.
and I love those islands off of Seattle.
I got an email from her once. She mistook me for Karin. Karen, what's her name? Of Addie?
oh,
Oh, yes. Giselle?
Yeah, she because Karen Scassell lives up there
Oh.
and was had asked previously if she could use, hang out at her property or something, and I'm like, oh, that's so awesome. I'm not the right Karen, but
Thank you so much for thinking of me.
Thank you for at least having me in your Rolodex of emails.
Yeah. If you haven't knit a Kat Bordhi pattern or looked at her, patterns that closely, you should look her up on Ravelry and knit something of hers, because you'll find
the treasury of magical knitting. It tells stories.
It's
awesome.
all of her books
fairy
are
tale.
digitized
And
now.
felting.
it looks like it.
I think she did that 4 or 5 years ago.
Hey, I think the cat bed. Oh, I gotta do the cat bed. I've got a cat now.
I think I'm gonna finally do the felts, which are those funny
The
little
felted slipper
slippers.
things, yeah. She
And,
has, which I
what
didn't
about the
realize,
octopus hat?
a whole.
No,
Yeah. She has a
Oh,
whole.
for
These
wearing-
bolts are cool.
you can make that while watching Lovecraft Country. That tentacle hat.
The tentacle. Oh, that would be.
She has a whole pattern book, Cat's Family of Fingerless Mitts. There's 25
Oh
patterns,
wow.
and they're all really cool.
Neat.
And it looks like most of them are knit sideways and garter stitch with various textures and stuff. They're all really pretty. Anyway.
I need to teach a Mobius class.
The Felf book, that money
Felf.
goes
What is
to.
Felf?
They're like elf slippers.
Elf slippers,
Oh,
but they're
They
felted.
had
felted.
like a
elf.
cool, they had like a cool shaping to them, of course.
Yeah, I've never knit those.
But all the money for that book goes to cancer research.
Oh, wow.
To one particular researcher who she thought had the
Oh,
best.
that's right. I read that.
Because she
Most
was
impact on.
Yeah, she was promoting that book and idea the last time we had her. So it's been out there a long time, but now
The Art of Felfs, felted footwear for families. Yeah. Yeah, I feel I should stop what I'm doing and knit one of her patterns or something.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
it just seems appropriate.
yeah. That's
Okay.
what her Instagram kind of featured. The
I
last
made one of
weeks
her
before her death
Mobius
was.
sling bags,
You
and
can
I
do
was
that to forever.
it wore out, and I wove wool into it and washed it to refelt and fill in the places. It didn't quite work out like I'd hoped, because once things are felted, they don't want to accept new felt.
Oh yeah, they're closed. It's a closed system, huh?
It's like, no, you cannot come in.
You can't
quite
sit at our table.
exclusive. You are not popular. But yeah, I loved that. Was such a great sling bag, so comfortable.
We had one of those felted baskets, the
Around,
Mobius baskets at Anacapa for as long as I worked there. It sat on a shelf.
I made it.
Oh, there you go. Did it go home with you, or?
It did. I think it was. I think I donated it to a auction at some point, because it was. Yeah, I made the little felted bowl. It looked very similar to the one on the cover.
Yeah,
but it was with aubergine.
I was gonna say, wasn't it purple?
It was a strand of aubergine and oregano, lamb's pride worsted. Yeah.
Well, she was very special, and we were really lucky to get to interact with her and build some real memories with her.
Yeah.
I also enjoyed her amusement. Like, we got to go, what is that restaurant?
Oh, in
The
Santa
one up in
Barbara?
Santa Barbara?
Yeah,
I don't know.
La,
Was it
I didn't
La,
go.
La. Oh, you didn't?
No, I don't know why.
You did go. We drove in
I don't
Monday.
remember.
Well, Katie didn't join us
I
for this
know.
fun thing, but Terry forgot her sweater in there.
Oh yeah.
And she lives in the, way north, Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
And Terry's no slouch for cold, I'm sure, because she grew up in Wisconsin. But it was a nice 65-degree day, I'd say, in Ventura and then into Santa Barbara. And Terry ran back for her sweater, which was probably some delightful cashmere thing she found.
Right.
And Kat was like, ugh. Not actually, she said something a little bit more lighthearted than ugh, but like a half laugh or something.
Uh-huh.
It was like, oh yes, Espenturans are hothouse flowers. I mean, don't you know? 68 to 72.
Yep.
That's it. What is that restaurant called?
I'm trying to figure it out right now.
3 words. It was Julia Child's favorite Mexican restaurant in Santa Barbara.
It's the only time I've ever been there.
And I've been back and that grew an obsession with homemade tortillas.
La Super Rica.
That's it.
La Super Rica Taqueria.
Yeah, that's it. They
Yep.
only take cash.
Do you make your own tortillas?
I have for like a short time after going there several times.
Because I have a heavy duty press, a cast iron press now that presses them nice and thin.
I have a press, I think, unless they got rid of it in the kitchen remodel. If they were smart, they wouldn't have, because someday I'll want to make them again. And there's nothing like Kevin goes fishing, and they're out fishing all day.
Fish
and they bring
tacos,
home
so good.
fresh caught fish, and he fixes up the fish, and I've made homemade tortillas.
Yum.
And it's like, who would want to live
What a
anywhere
lovely
else?
symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, oh yeah. But yeah, we're lucky to have known Kat Bordhi in the way that we did. And she's a very special woman.
Touched the lives of so many people.
When you're talking about like her pointing out that you don't have to put the increases in conventional places, what do you think
It just
about
blew my
assigning?
mind.
Well, what do you think about assigning that methodology and thinking to the fact all the innovative sweaters that have come?
Yeah.
Or like that. What is that sweater?
Contiguous.
A continuous.
Contiguous.
Yeah,
with
a
G.
contiguous
Shoulder.
shoulder. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's different. I think about, as a knitting teacher myself, the fact that she as a teacher was so encouraging and like welcoming and helpful that
Yeah.
I'm sure so many people went away, because she taught hundreds of classes
Yeah.
all over the country,
Yeah.
that so
Yeah.
many people probably went away from her classes feeling encouraged and hopeful and
That
excited
they
about
could do
knitting,
that they could do something that they didn't know they could do.
that alone, that impact alone, I think is.
And she could take something esoteric and make it something that
She
any
had
person
such
could
like
do.
She picked-
weird analogies for things.
Yeah,
that
which I
sometimes-
loved.
But
I
like it
adored.
totally would stick
They were
with
like
you.
Right.
They were folk stories.
Yeah.
And she was a natural born storyteller.
Yes.
But that story was easier to remember than if you were in a technical class.
Right.
I mean, who will ever forget the dolphin and the bird? I know, I never
forgot
did.
it.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, well, you did.
but I haven't ever completed a Mobius
I
project.
should like go back and
That's not
watch
true.
that.
I've made one.
Is that from the video for the cast on? She has some other analogy like that about a bird like goes up and then it dives down and it catches like the fish or something. I don't remember. I'd
Probably
have
the
to go
same
back
kind
and
of thing.
watch
She
it.
might
I
have
also
said it a few
think she
different
had
ways.
one about like when you do Judy's magic cast on, something about like grabbing the boyfriend and pulling him through or something like that too.
Oh, I missed that one.
I always think about one that I remember from, I don't remember what class she taught, like a lifted increase. Or no, it was like the mother stitch and the daughter stitch.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's how I still
yes.
teach it.
Yeah.
Right, the left leaning and right leaning. It's a lifted LLI or an RLI.
Yeah.
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 That's
You
how
have
I remember it,
You
is
have
that
the mother,
analogy.
the daughter, and the grandmother stitch, the mother stitch, and the daughter stitch.
Other way. But I mean, people
Yeah,
can't see
daughter,
how you were,
yeah.
People can't see how you were gesturing, but yes, the other way.
Those 3 turns.
Yeah.
Just
I love
pretend I said it right.
You
Because you
said it
don't know
right.
which way my hands were.
Your gestures needed correction. That matters on an audio podcast.
You can see how wrong I got.
Well, and it is a real bummer that she is gone, because
I think
like
about her
Ruth Bader
family.
Ginsburg, somebody who blazed new paths that brought us all along.
Yep.
Very different different paths to blaze, but amazing.
Yeah,
amazing
you wonder
women.
how many people, how many designers grew because of her, and how
Yeah,
many
that
designers
she-
were encouraged from them. There's just this
Yeah.
ripple, this
She opened
this cat
these,
ripple.
these thought doors that she opened.
Yeah.
That you can't even tabulate what those created in other people.
Right.
Her attitude of let's just try it,
Yeah.
let's see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just yarn.
Why not? Give it a try.
What's it gonna hurt you? A lovely person who is very savvy in so many things, in her business, in her creativity,
Yes, her books, she was self-published before people were self-published. Mm-hmm. She went through the whole printing and all of that herself. She was an innovator in ways that even in like I said, just publishing. Mm-hmm. So she maintained the rights. Yeah, she was Passing Paws Press, and I wonder. I guess I hadn't looked up. It says she wrote novels too. Treasure Force in 2003. She likes nothing better than to have a knitting experience go awry because it means very interesting, possibly never before seen things are soon to be revealed. When not teaching workshops, she leads a quiet and blessed life tucked away in the woods on a remote island in the Pacific Northwest. That really, wow.
Yeah.
She wrote really well about herself. I mean, because that truly just, she knew herself well enough to describe it. That's good.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, thank you guys for listening. We are reading a book right now called The Island of Sea Women by Lisa C. And that episode of our book club podcast will come out in 2 weeks from today when this episode came out. So if you wanted to pick up that book and read along with us, then you still have a couple weeks to do that. Otherwise, we will see you next month for our November. Oh yeah, I forgot about Obsessions. Oh my gosh. I already did the outro. Okay. Okay, who wants to do an obsession?
I am obsessed with the books of N.K. Jemisin. I am on the third book of a trilogy, and I'm already looking at her. I just got a notice from Amazon that she's got a brand new book coming out, and I'm like, ooh, I'm on to that.
Nice.
I love her sci-fi. There's elements of it where you can see there's racialness, oppression, but it's not about races of humans with skin color or anything. It's more of the stone eaters versus these humans and these origins. It's sci-fi and social commentary at the same time.
I am obsessed with two things. Both are things to watch. One is the new show on Amazon Prime called Utopia. It's a
I'm on episode 4. I love
effed up thing to watch right now.
Yes, that is.
Because it centers around a pandemic and a vaccine. And there's a warning at the beginning of like, this does not reflect the current.
Oh no.
Clear.
They're like, should we release it? Should we wait?
It's cathartic in the way that watching Outbreak at the beginning of this was cathartic, which is a terrible, great movie. And it's really good, and you miss a lot. Because I already have watched 1 and 3 again, because I watched it by myself, and I was like, I think you guys would like this. And I started over, and when I rewatched those 3 episodes for them to catch up with me, I saw a ton of things I missed. So I'm going to rewatch it again, because it's very good, and I'm sure I missed things. And then, because I was out of things to watch last night, I started The Vow, which is about the Nexium cult. It's
Is it a documentary?
It's a docuseries.
I love documentaries about cults.
Okay, you won't. Well, because here's the thing.
Oh, I started this.
Okay.
And like NX.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I started it. I haven't watched that much into it, but I have started it.
2 or 3 episodes last night. And since you're in already, like, the thing that sucks the most about this evil man is that he has a lot of great ideas. Like, if only he could live the way he's espousing us to live. Right. And if only he weren't, like, a disgusting predator.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is that he's like, I can see that there's parts of Scientology, there's parts of, this one doesn't, Synanon, which is that, like, self-evaluation, tear apart every little thing that is limiting you or whatever. So, and those are all kind of culty bad things also. But they have great ideas sometimes that go with them. And if only we could live the way that he espouses. And I think that a former employer I had was really teaching us these things. No scary sex cult part. Good. But definitely he was like brainwashing you to do the work he wanted you to do in the way that he wanted you to do it. And not all of it was bad.
I realized as you were talking, I haven't watched that, but I did watch, Hulu has a series, or it's on Hulu, called Cults and Extreme Belief, and each episode is about a different cult, and I think that's what I'm thinking of, is they interview like former members of cults and stuff. So they have one about Nexium and just a bunch of different things. So I think that's what I was actually thinking
I'm
about.
about to dive back into Camp Monsters. It's back.
I know they're back with new episodes. I haven't
listened
listened yet.
But then while I was searching for that, because I couldn't remember what it was called, I came across Scary Stories to Tell in the Pod, and it looks like they're doing scary stories to tell in the dark kind of stories. Yeah. And there's like a lot of them, so I'm excited to listen to that.
Camp Monsters is great. That was one of my obsessions probably last year.
Yeah, I borrowed your obsession because it was fantastic.
It's an REI produced podcast, and it's very good. They're very fun.
So
I haven't listened to the new season yet.
It's perfect for this time of the year, and I was listening to it late at night here.
I have to listen to it like in the broad daylight because I get too spooked.
I was listening to it late at night here while I was working on something, and it was like think, and I loved, and it was and like you're here. I'm more used to that now. I think the sounds and the patterns around here because there are people around here all hours.
Yeah.
But then last year at this time, like
spooky.
It was scary.
I'm obsessed with a song. Miley Cyrus did a cover of Blondie's Heart of Glass that she performed live for like an iHeartRadio performance, whatever. And I think it just was a week or two ago. So you could go on YouTube and watch the video. Her performance is great. Her voice is amazing. And I like Miley Cyrus, like as a whatever. I don't listen to a lot of her music, but this cover is like, I listen to it like on repeat in my car because it's really fun to listen to. And by popular demand, she released like the digital on Spotify or wherever, so you could listen to it apart from being on YouTube. But it's a very fun listen, so I highly recommend.
Is a talent.
She's very
Even
talented.
If she is a little hard to take sometimes.
Yeah. I was just talking about that with James the other day because we were watching they have those documentary series where it's like the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. Yeah. We were watching the 2000s and the music episode, and they were talking about Lady Gaga, it was the 90s, and they were talking about Madonna, and when she performed Like a Virgin, like on stage, and how everybody was like, oh my gosh, so shocked. Yeah. And then Miley Cyrus does the same thing, with the foam finger and that like classic thing, and everybody was like, oh my god, so shocked. But like, Madonna paved the way so Miley could, run. Yeah. But
and she did.
Yes, Heart of Glass. It's really fun to listen to. So that's my recommendation. Okay, so rewind 5 minutes and listen to my outro, and we'll see you guys in a month.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.